The winter wind cut across Seattle like broken glass, shrieking between towers of steel and glass that glittered over the bay. I sat alone in my penthouse. The city stretched below like a field of dying stars. Dinner was cooling on a marble table, a perfect meal for a man who no longer tasted anything. It had been 20 years since the fall, a climbing accident that snapped my spine and every illusion of control I had. I built an empire from that hospital bed, a biotech company that promised hope to others. But hope, I learned, is a product you can sell without ever believing in it yourself. My phone buzzed with silent notifications, emails, offers, invitations, the noise of a life that meant nothing anymore. I stared instead at the roast chicken, the untouched glass of wine, and wondered what emptiness smelled like. Then a knock. Not my door, but on the security gate 3 floors below. I wheeled over to the monitor, half annoyed, half curious. The camera showed a little girl standing in the rain, maybe 6 years old. Her coat was red but torn, her hair plastered to her cheeks. She held a plastic container in both hands, shivering. When I pressed the intercom, her voice came through, small, trembling but steady. "Sir, if you give me your leftovers, I'll give you a cure." I blinked. "A cure." She nodded, rain dripping from her chin. "You can walk again. Just one plate of food." For a second, I thought she was joking or delusional. I laughed, a sound that scraped my throat. "I've spent millions on people who can't fix me. And you think you can?" She didn't flinch. "My grandma said miracles don't come from science. They come from people who still believe." Something in her voice, calm, sure, heartbreakingly sincere, cracked something inside me. Without thinking, I pressed the button. The gate opened. By the time I opened the front door, she was already standing on the marble steps, soaked to the bone, clutching that little container like it was treasure. Rain beaded on her eyelashes. "You shouldn't be out here," I said, sharper than I meant to. She tilted her head. "Neither should you." Her voice was soft but steady. I froze, not because of the words, but because no one had ever spoken to me like that. She peered past me into the penthouse. Her eyes landed on the untouched dinner. "I can smell the food from outside," she whispered. "Please, my mom hasn't eaten in 2 days." Something in me shifted. Pity, maybe, or guilt. I rolled back, gesturing inside. "Fine, take it all." But she didn't move. She looked straight at me, that strange, calm certainty again, and said, "First, I keep my promise." "What promise?" "I'll give you back your legs." I almost laughed. "Sure, go ahead. Just don't break the plates." She stepped forward slowly, her sneakers squeaking on the polished floor. Then she knelt beside my chair, her small hands hovering over my knees. The warmth of her palms hit like a live current. At first, I thought it was just heat, but then something impossible happened. A pulse, a spark, a feeling. It shot up my spine like lightning, made my breath catch in my chest. What did you just?" She looked up at me, eyes wide and unblinking. "It's not done yet," she said simply. "But now you believe me." I don't know how long I sat there, staring at her small hands. My legs felt alive. Not healed, not whole, but awake. The phantom weight I'd carried for 20 years suddenly had shape, warmth, reality. She stood beside the table now, quietly eating. The way she held the fork, slow, polite, trembling, told me she was used to hunger. "My name's Emily," she said between small bites. "Emily Carter. My mom cleans buildings downtown. Sometimes I draw pictures and sell them at Pike Place." I just listened, unable to find words. The storm outside was nothing compared to the one building in my chest. She glanced at me. "My grandma used to heal people," she said softly. "She said hearts break faster than bones and harder to fix." Her words shouldn't have meant anything, yet somehow they hit like truth. I'd built machines that could grow tissue, reconnect nerves, restore movement. But no machine had ever made me feel this. "Emily," I asked, voice unsteady, "how did you even know who I was?" She smiled faintly. "Everybody at the shelter knows you." The man who makes other people walk but doesn't walk himself. I couldn't look at her. Shame has a sound, a quiet one, like breath catching your throat. Before I could answer, my phone buzzed. Then again, then a dozen times. Headlines flashed across the screen. Mystery girl heals local billionaire. Miracle child at grand estate. I froze. My pulse hammered. How the hell? I looked at her, panic tightening my voice. Emily, did you tell anyone? Her eyes widened, terrified. No, I swear I didn't. Someone must have seen me outside. I wheeled to the window. Flashing lights. Voices. Reporters clustered around the gates, shouting questions into microphones. Mr. Grant, is it true you've been cured? Who is the girl? The noise grew, chaos clawing at the walls of my home. Emily backed away, trembling. I didn't mean to, she whispered. It's not your fault, I said, though my voice broke halfway through. It's mine. I opened the gate. Outside, the wind howled, carrying the echo of their chants. And deep down, I knew this wasn't just a story anymore. It was a hunt. By dawn, the noise outside had become a wall of desperation. Hundreds gathered at the gates, some in wheelchairs, others clutching photos of sick children, all shouting one name, Emily. I watched from the upstairs balcony as the crowd swelled. Some cried, some prayed, some demanded to see her like she was a saint or a weapon. Security held the line, but barely. And through the chaos, one face froze me, Julia. My ex-wife sat in her silver SUV near the edge of the street, a phone raised, filming. The same woman who'd once whispered, "I can't love a man who can't stand beside me," was now live-streaming the miracle she couldn't buy. I felt my stomach turn. She was the leak. She'd had cameras watching me for months, hoping to catch a story, a scandal, and this was gold. Emily huddled on the couch, clutching her container. Her small shoulders shook. "They think I'm magic," she cried. "But I'm not. I just believe people can be fixed." Her words sliced through the noise like sunlight through fog. I looked down at my legs, trembling alive. For the first time in 2 decades, I slid from the chair. The floor was cold under my bare feet. My knees nearly buckled, but they held. "Emily," I whispered, "already fix me." She looked up, tears glistening. "But they'll hurt you. They'll think you're hiding me." Before I could answer, the sharp crack of glass shattered the air. A rock had smashed through the window. Screams echoed from outside, a mix of pleading and rage. Some shouted for healing, others for proof, others for her. The same mob that worshipped her 5 minutes ago was turning. Then my phone rang again. Dr. Walters, my head neurologist. "Nathan," his voice trembled through the line, "we just reviewed your scans from last month and this morning. Your spinal cord is showing active regeneration. That's biologically impossible." My eyes drifted to Emily. She was staring at the floor, whispering something under her breath. A name, maybe, or a prayer. And then, the doorbell. A single, calm chime. I checked the monitor. A man stood outside in a black coat, rain sliding off his umbrella. His face was calm, professional, too calm. He held up an ID. "Dr. Harlan, Project Phoenix, Human Trials Division." My stomach dropped. That was my company's research branch, the one I'd buried years ago after government review boards called it unethical. He looked straight into the camera and said, "Mr. Grant, we need to talk about the girl." The moment I saw that badge, Project Phoenix, something inside me snapped. I remembered the old boardroom, the arguments, the night I shut the project down because it blurred the line between healing and exploitation. Now, here it was again, standing at my door. Behind me, Emily clutched her small plastic container. Her eyes darted to the window, with the crowd shouting mixed with thunder. "They want to take me," she whispered, "like they took my grandma." I turned to her sharply. "What do you mean?" She swallowed. She worked in a lab once. They said her gift could help people. But when she healed someone important, they locked her away. Said it was for study. She never came home. My chest tightened. I understood then. She wasn't a miracle. She was the proof of one. And proof is dangerous when men like me hold the pen. The intercom buzzed again. Mr. Grant, the voice said, if you don't open this door, we will. Something in me, something old and long buried, woke up. The man who used to lead, who used to fight for what mattered. For the first time in years, I stood. I walked, unsteady but upright, to the door. My reflection in the glass looked like a stranger. When I opened it, rain lashed against my face. The man in black blinked, startled. You're walking, he said quietly. Then it's true. It's true, I said. But it's mine to protect. You don't understand, he pressed. This girl could change medicine forever. She already did, I said, stepping forward. She changed me. He tried to move past me, but I blocked the doorway, every nerve alive. Behind him, cameras flashed. Voices roared. The world demanded its proof. I turned back toward Emily and her mother, who had just arrived, exhausted, terrified. I nodded toward the back hallway. Go, I said. Now. She hesitated. They'll find you. Let them. I smiled faintly. Maybe it's time they found the man I used to be. They disappeared into the storm. By the time the agents forced their way in, the penthouse was empty, except for me and the echo of her voice. The best miracles don't come from science. They come from people who still believe. That night, the world saw what it wanted: broken glass, headlines, scandal. But months later, a quiet foundation appeared online. The Grand Initiative for Child Healing. No investors, no press, only a mission: free treatment for orphans and homeless children. Its founder remained anonymous. Yet one photo eventually surfaced. A little girl in a red coat, walking hand in hand with a man once thought forever bound to a wheelchair. Both smiling, both free. Moral. Sometimes the cure we need isn't found in a lab or a ledger. It's found in kindness. And sometimes the smallest hands carry the power to make the strongest men believe again.